Okay, so tonight I've had some issues getting my rig back set up for deep sky versus lunar. Just some, hiccups here and there. Got everything back on. Got the guide scope back set up because I was using it for imaging the moon, which ended up not working out so well. But here we are. We're focused on a North American nebula. I'm going to try to get it all in one frame for my scope that is literally pushing the edges. I'm not sure how it's going to work out because I've got some camera issues that I don't have a really good camera, suffice to say. None of my cameras are very good for whether there's a physical issue or just an old issue or an age issue. So we're going to try to do the North American Nebula. And I'm going to try for a 5-minute exposure, which is the top end of what I've been able to do ever. So we're going to see how it goes. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's where we're going to go. So let's get on it. It is perfectly framed. I don't know if you can see it. I've got some, this is one of my bad, it's one of the, what I'm talking about, bad camera. I've got some stuff that I can't get out of it. But it is perfectly framed. Absolutely great. And that nebulosity is going to really start showing. Alright, we're about 2 minutes from a second exposure. And so far the mount seems to be tracking really well. Yeah, everything seems to be going great. Like I said, I've only got just a little, like I'm so close to the meridian. My scope is so stretched out. I'm not sure how far I'm gonna be able to push it. I don't have very much room to go. I probably got 20 minutes at best left. And I said I'm lucky. I am so close to the meridian right now. But if I can keep this in shot, in focus, and do some 5-minute exposures, this thing is really going to pop. I've got that Optolong L-Enhance filter in there that filters out most anything. We're at a full moon tonight. Full moon was this morning, but we're completely full moon. We need a filter like that to be able to filter out all that light pollution, both from, not just from the city, but also from the moon. And because the moon washes everything out, so the Optolong L-Enhance filter filters everything out except for just very particular wavelengths, and to allow me to catch this target and not get bleached out by the moon. And so we'll see how it goes for a second stack, but the second stack will really tell where we go from here. Alright, we've just had a successful meridian flip. It seemed to go just fine. It's recalibrated, tracking just fine. Everything is going good. So now I've restarted the process, the live stacking, and I'm going to see how the first exposure turns out, 5 minutes. And then if it looks good and everything seems fine, then I'm going to leave it alone for a little while. So we'll see. I've done North American Nebula before, but I did it in shorter exposures. So tonight I'm doing 5-minute long exposures. I'm at about just over 2 hours, 2 hours 10 minutes of exposure time so far, if you combine everything together. And so far so good. I've probably got another hour left before it goes behind the trees. I don't have a flat spot or a place with no trees, so I have to kind of pick spots of the sky and then move back and forth as things go. And it's kind of in the north, so it's very small as far as how much it spins in the sky. So once you catch it, you got some time with it, but once it goes behind something, you know, that's it. And based on where I'm at, the north is kind of my most blocked part of the sky. I've got a little more room in the south and in the east and west. So back to where we are. I'm gonna try to stick with it for another hour. I really want, it'd be great if I could stick with it until Orion come up. I've started a small little thing with Orion using my new scope, or not my new scope, this scope, and I would prefer to be able to switch from one target to the other. I don't think I'm going to have that kind of time just because the trees are really going to block me. I was hoping that I would get some reprieve and kind of a dip in the trees, but I'm not sure. So that's where we stand, and we're going to see how the North American Nebula shows tonight. If we're really lucky, we'll be able to add, if we make it to Orion, I'll be able to add the Orion data to some data that I did about a week ago, and I'll be able to get 2 images from tonight. That'll be great, but let's see how we do with the North American Nebula first, then we'll worry about Orion. So here we are, and just as I turn around ready to pick up, I see fog, and it's pretty thick. So I don't know how that's going to affect the night overall. I've got dew heater bands on everything, so it's not going to affect the lenses any, but it's looking pretty thick, at least back there, and I'm not sure. I can see it overhead. The moonlight's getting dispersed, so it's going to be a crapshoot now because we're going to lose something. The question is, how much are we going to lose? And specifically, are the wavelengths that I'm focusing on with that narrowband filter greatly affected by the fog? So we'll see. But that's where we stand. They're going, and I'm probably going to come back out in a couple hours to turn it off by the time we get to the end of the evening and start taking calibration frames before the sun comes up in earnest. So I guess we'll see how it goes. I was hoping for clearer weather than this for Orion. The sky is clear, but of course something else has got to come in and mess it up, and here we are with fog. So I guess we'll see. So I'm gonna go back inside and we'll see how it goes.